Although I have realized that this V person is a liar. So we have to ask ourselves, on what other things is he lying about? Because he does all these videos, right? He does all these videos every day, but he claims to be a doctor, but I never see him working as a doctor. Is he a doctor? I don't know. I mean, so many videos that he does, and they're so long. Every single day doing these videos. Maybe he's lying about being a doctor too, because after all, he lied about who I am. A friend of mine yesterday told me that I had been mentioned in a video, and I missed it. I missed the mention completely. It had been about a month ago. And it was a mention, I don't know what you want to call it, that this individual V said about me. And I want you to hear it first so that you have some context.
So let's see what else. He talks in and dabbles down. Imagine my shock. Okay, you're not saying that he's wrong. And again, like Coach Red Pill, Kraut, why are you doing this to yourself? I don't understand this gentleman. He insulted me on the Twitter for no reason. Like, I was watching porn and jerking off, which is something haram, according to Coach Red Pill. He and the Muslims agree. You shouldn't jerk off. Do you know this? Like, this is what I understand. Like, on his video, he tells people not to jerk off. It's a biological fact, dude. Like, women, they release their pent-up energy when they're menstruating. They release it. Men need to stroke the schnitzel. Unless we live in medieval times when marriages are arranged and you marry at, like, I don't know, 9 years old, and then you can have a wife to fuck, you have to stroke the sword. I stroke the sword. The person listening here strokes the sword, and you stroke the sword as well. Jesus Christ, like, I really hate these people that are like, no, I never masturbate. Like, right, so, anti-masturbating coach, you know, he's probably like the opposite of a dating coach. The dating coach, what do dating coach say about masturbation? I need to find out. But he's very Islamic in his beliefs when it comes to masturbation. So, why are you doing this to yourself, right?
Now, as you can see, this was because of some events that happened with Kraut and Tia. It's long and tedious, I'm not going to go into it. Now, insofar as this individual, he was criticizing me, he wanted to criticize me about what I'd said about Kraut and Tia, that I thought that he was committing some sort of suicide, and which is in fact what he did. Kraut and Tia has just wrecked his reputation, and he is just gone. And I don't think that we're going to be seeing him again. Maybe we will, who knows? Maybe he has a little bit more strength of character, enough strength of character to come back, but be that as it may. The point is, see, this V individual said a number of lies about me. And so it's important here that we talk about how to deal with liars. Now, I'm going to use this individual as an example. I don't take this individual as somebody worth really my time, except as using him as an example. And I'll explain why. Because you see, V has a fairly large audience, but he is one of the finger puppets of Sargon of Akkad. Sargon of Akkad has several such finger puppets. One used to be Kraut and Tea. There's V. There's Jeff Holiday. There's Wizard of Cause, and a couple of others. And these individuals are, frankly, they're not people of quality. They're not particularly intelligent. They're easily led, easily maneuvered, easily manipulated, and I suspect that that's exactly the reason that Sargon picked them, because they would be easy to handle, and he has handled them well, and he gave them their audiences, because were it not for Sargon, they would not have an audience beyond, 1,000 subscribers, because none of them are particularly interesting. But anyway, that's besides the point. This V individual. Now, notice what he said. First of all, he didn't say anything about what I had said about Kraut. He started attacking me about a video that I'd talked about masturbation. And I hadn't said that you shouldn't masturbate. I said that you should masturbate tactically, strategically, right? And that masturbation was perfectly normal. I said that. He lied about that. He lied outright about that. And then he went on this weird attempt to create the inference that I am a Muslim or or akin to Muslims, that just like Muslims who are against masturbation, that I'm against masturbation, so therefore I'm a Muslim too, which is absurd. So there goes a lie number two. He also says here and elsewhere, he says that I'm an alt-right, when I have repeatedly said that I am not alt-right, although I am sympathetic to many of their preoccupations and concerns insofar as our current society is concerned. But I'm respectfully not a part of the alt-right, neither am I a part of the alt-light or any other political affiliation, probably because, you know, I subscribe to the Groucho Marx a theory of affiliation. I'd never join a club that would have me as a member, right? So anyway, be that as it may. He lied about my masturbation video. He lied about me being Muslim. He lied about me being alt-right. He lies about me. Now, I didn't even hear about this for like a month until, as I said, this acquaintance of mine clued me in. Now, I looked at the video and I was pretty surprised, or let me phrase it. I was not surprised because I've noticed that this individual, this V person, he claims to be a doctor. I don't buy that, and I'll explain why. I've been a lot of doctors in several continents, in 4 continents as a matter of fact. I mean, real specialist doctors, real doctors, MDs, right? And they're all surprisingly anal retentive about detail. You know, they're always very, very cautious in the wording of anything, no matter how trivial. They're always very, very precise. And obviously this individual, V, is sloppy with his lies because all the lies he said about me are demonstrably not true. So, my point. How do you deal with a liar, such as V? The first thing you have to do when you hear about a lie is you have to stop and think to yourself, will anybody reasonable believe this bullshit? Suppose that the big lie about you is that you're the reincarnation of Adolf Hitler. Okay, nobody's going to believe that. That's just absurd because, you know, we all know that Donald Trump is the reincarnation of Adolf Hitler. So when you hear a whopper of a lie about you, you have to laugh about it. Okay? You have to laugh about it and discard it, not even pay attention to it. The very fact that you laugh off a lie or even exaggerate it for effect signals everybody that the lie is so much bullshit. Okay? But when it becomes plausible, that's when it becomes very, very tricky. Okay? A lot of times, a lie can become the truth in the perception of other people. Okay? And so you have to be very careful, and this is an issue of fine-tuning. The more plausible the lie, the more aggressive you have to be in combating it. Because if a plausible lie starts settling into the minds of people, not even a crowbar will be able to dislodge it. A plausible lie can wreck you. Now, why does this matter? Well, very obvious. Because you see, we live in a social world. We deal with other people all the time. Right? Now, when you're dealing with other people, you need them, and they need you, and you interact with each other. And as you interact with people, as they get to know you, as you work with them, as you show that you are capable, you build political capital. When you build up your standing among other people, you can eventually ask them to help you. Because that actually is the point of it all. The human relationships that you build are so that at some future date, you can ask people to help you. Perhaps it's something trivial. You can ask a friend at work, you say, you know, Bob, can you help me move from my old apartment to my new apartment and help packing and shit like that? And it's trivial, and I'm sure Bob will do it if he's a casual friend. But if Bob, you know, if you need something more serious done, you need a lot of political capital with Bob. For instance, you're thinking of leaving your bank and starting up your own bank, so you need to have a lot of political capital built up with Bob so that you can say to him, Bob, I'm going to start my own bank. I need you to be my CFO and come with me and start this thing. You know, I mean, you see? A lie about who you are is information that other people, the people you know, the people in your social circle, they find out about you and it diminishes you in their eyes. And that's why you want to be very, very alert to any lie said about you. Never, never, never feel that your reputation will save you. Because a lot of times, even the most sterling reputations can be destroyed by a well-placed lie. A reputation is something that you have to guard. When you hear a lie, a potentially truthful lie or a plausible lie about you, you go and attack it. And how do you attack it? Well, because in every social circle that you have a few key people, a few key nodes, if you will. These are people who know a lot of other people. They're not necessarily superiors or inferiors, or they can be in any part of the hierarchy. But these people, you know, they have this quality of just knowing everybody and being in good, getting in good with everybody. Now you have to find those nodes in your social environment. And you have to make it clear to them. And not just one, you have to go to every single node that you can find in your social milieu, you know, in your social star system. You have to go to every one of these nodes and make it clear. Tell them the truth. When you just appeal emotionally, it's hard for people to get behind you. You need to give them something, even if it's a very slender fact that might lead people to conclude that you are not guilty of something or not guilty of this lie that somebody's saying about you. You have to give them that. You have to give them a little bit of something, a little bit of fact. Okay? And that's the most important thing, because if you can give them a fact, then they can, with confidence, say, oh no, this lie about my man, it's bullshit. Because that's what you want people to say, that it's bullshit. Now, this lie here, insofar as V is concerned, I'm not worried about it at all. Because nobody believes it. Because it's just a bunch of bullshit. Oh yeah, I'm a Muslim? Sure. I'm alt-right. I've said I'm not, and I know that the alt-right do not consider me a member of the alt-right. What was the other thing that he said? Muslim? Oh, and that I was all against masturbation in the video. I'm not embarrassed by the video. I'm proud of it. I think I said what I was supposed to say, which is that, you know, you have to be thinking about what you're doing, but at the same time, the actual topic just makes me embarrassed, and I feel foolish talking about it. But anyway, these lies that this man said about me, who gives a shit? Nobody cares. Nobody believes it. But, see, if it had been something a little more plausible, see, then I have to do something about it, right? I'd have to answer them. Now, and here comes the final issue. It's the fine-tuning. When does a lie stop being outrageous and become plausible? That's a serious problem, okay? And I cannot tell you a rule, okay? Because V lied outright about me, and it was just grotesque lies about me. And so nobody cares. Nobody believes him. The only person who got hurt is himself. He looks like a fool. I mean, you see that video. But anyway, he said grotesque lies about me. Imagine he had said incredibly plausible lies about me. Where is that point? And that's the problem. It's like the grayscale. Where does, you know, gray start being more black than white, or more white than black? See, that is something that is very, very difficult to measure. A lot of times, some lie will pop up that is extraordinarily plausible but easily refutable. Now there, you have to, you know, move your little feet everywhere to all these little nodes that I spoke of, and contact them all and show them, you know, like for instance, example, somebody robbed the bank, right? And you say, hey, look, I was here in another city. Or like this case of this man, there was this woman who was walking along some bridge in London, and some jogger came and shoved her in front of a bus, and she nearly got hit by the bus. And they arrested some guy who looked exactly like that guy, like the jogger, and you know, the same build, and lived in that area and stuff. And it turned out that he had been in the United States when the whole thing happened, and it was instantly proven and instantly shown that he had nothing to do with it, because he'd been a whole ocean away, right? See, when something is plausible, you have to go out there guns blazing with the proof and knock that lie out as quickly as possible, because you never want a plausible lie to be festering. That's the one thing that you have to prevent at all costs. Never, ever, ever count on your reputation to save you. Okay? Never. You hear a plausible lie about you, you aggressively go and fight it with hard proof as quickly as possible. Don't hesitate. Don't say like, oh no, people aren't going to... Bullshit. Because people tend to believe the worst. It's easy to believe the worst. And also, it squares with our prurient interest. You know, oh, did you hear that Johnny Smith was like, raping donkeys and diddling himself wherever when he went to Thailand, you know? Ooh, he went to Thailand. What do you think he was doing there? That kind of thing can ruin you. So you have to be very, very aggressive, especially with the plausible lie. Now, with the implausible lie, don't worry about it. Okay, this is something from experience. And in the case of this V person, why do you think I didn't mention V's name in the title of this video? Because what's the point of drawing attention to it? There's no upside to me drawing attention to it. Although I have realized that this V person is a liar. So we have to ask ourselves, on what other things is he lying about? Because he does all these videos, right? He does all these videos every day, but he claims to be a doctor, but I never see him working as a doctor. Is he a doctor? I don't know. I mean, so many videos that he does, and they're so long. Every single day doing these videos. Maybe he's lying about being a doctor too, because after all, he lied about who I am. See? You see, that's the beauty of it. When a liar says something stupid, he's the only one left vulnerable. And by the way, just so that we're really, really clear, I think that V is lying about being a doctor, and I won't believe that he's a doctor until I see some sort of accreditation from some institution that I actually know of, some British or American accreditation. Because him saying that he's a doctor, I think it's bullshit. Why do I think that? Because he lied about me. He said bullshit about me. Demonstrable bullshit. So anything he says, it's bullshit as far as I'm concerned. See? That's what happens to liars. They lie about you, and if you do the job right, nobody will ever believe in them in anything ever again.